A common mistake is the rigidity of the system. Your persuasion system should be like putty. It has substance, and it can adapt itself subtly to any situation as the client reveals the unique characteristics of his problems or her problems. Imagine the sales putty fitting into all the spaces and holes and nooks and crannies that your client wants you to fill to solve his problems. Another common mistake is having the wrong person making the sale. Just as there's talent for numbers, systems, athletics, science, you name it, there's a talent for selling. Your best persuasion people get a personal charge out of creating the sale. If you don't come by sales talent naturally, don't fret. Sales can be taught. What may be more important than talent for persuasion is the belief and passion for the offering being sold. Fervent belief goes a long way in transferring a feeling of faith in the offering from the seller, the doctor and the team, to the person, the buying, the patient. It's a reassurance for the buyer that the seller speaks with such conviction. Third lesson, make a sale to get a client and create a relationship, then work to keep it. Pretty solid advice, I bet. Did your buyer, your patient, ever buy your offering once but never do it again? If yes, your sales future is dim. Your practice future is dim. Did you make a sale, gain a client, and a relationship? If yes, congratulations. You've come down on the right side of the sales equation. The purpose of virtually all first sales is to gain a client. To get this first sale, it can take a lot of hard work. The value generally isn't in that first sale, but in the future sales that are virtually guaranteed after acquiring a client who looks to you for help and guidance. When you do the math, the second and third and all subsequent sales are the ones that bring the profit. There's no more cost of acquisition, but there are two forgotten costs. First is the cost of serving the client after the sale has been made. These are very real costs and must be planned on as part of your original price for your offering, or built into the offering as a continuity cost that the client expects to pay. The second cost is the cost to continue to market to your existing clients, to defend your clients from those competitors who poach, who steal covertly or overtly. Large corporations do this all the time to defend their positions in the market with individual buyers. Coca-Cola, the market leader for a long time, decades, continues to spend about 5% of its budget to defend the brand and keep its user feeling good for choosing Coke. Small businesses and professionals forget they have to do the same. When you compare your cost of acquiring a new client versus what you must spend to keep them as a client, continually buying from you and aware of what you offer, the scales tip to the keep them side with a resounding thud. It's not uncommon for a practice or business to spend $300 to $1,000 or more to acquire a client or customer or patient, and then go cheap, refusing to spend 5% of that cost to keep them. When you don't charge enough for what you provide, you can easily go stupid cheap, refusing to spend a paltry sum to keep a client and continue to sell them more. At least make the smart decision to spend keep-em money on your good clients. The fourth and last lesson, the psychological contract of a sale. This one may surprise you. Every sale has within it an implicit promise of performance, trustworthiness, and truthfulness in doing business with you. This goes unrecognized by too many. For the seller, once the sale has been made, the tension associated with the sale goes down. He can relax and enjoy his success with making the sale. Getting the case presentation succeeded. Give it to you again. He can relax and enjoy his success in making the sale. For the buyer, once the sale is made, the tension goes up. The buyer is wondering if he made the right decision. Will the seller come through as promised? Have I been a smart consumer? Did I make a wise decision? These are all natural questions that every buyer faces as those little voices inside his head resonate with these and possibly many more questions. So what is your responsibility as the seller? In persuasion, in sales, silence is not golden. It is death to a sale. Even after the ink is dried on any sales agreement, This sales dissonance disease must be recognized and treated before it festers and infects the mind of your new client with doubts and misgivings. Here's what to do to inoculate against this scourge, sales dissonance disease. 7 keys. Here they are. Make him feel good for having bought. Congratulate him or her on the wisdom of the decision. Reassure him that you will deliver as promised. If possible, send a personal note or card of congratulations in the mail right away. Tell them it's not unusual to have second thoughts and doubts. This is all normal to be expected. Do suggest that he or she refrain from discussing the decision with family and friends who are uninformed about his problems and his decision to act, as they are ill prepared to advise him without all that information. Has that ever happened to you? That's why you inoculate. Again, shape and define the buyer's expectancy on your terms. You should have shaped these expectancies during the process of persuasion anyway. When a purchase decision is made, the buyer has his own expectancies about what should happen next. Failing to supply the buyer, your patient, with what he should expect allows him to set his own rules and expectancies, and you are hopelessly behind. The problem with that scenario is that you may or not be able to deliver. Make a promise you can deliver. Tell them what will happen. Tell them what they must do to participate actively in helping the promise of your offering actually be delivered. Nail down your financial agreement and get a payment of your fee that is a very real show of commitment, preferably a payment in full with associated discounts. If you can get that done, it will put all the financial decisions to bed forever. If not possible, get a definitive agreement and dates when payments will be made. Continue to communicate with the buyer, answering questions and concerns that come up. Follow-up is part of your implicit promise. Your buyer will have an increased desire for communication with you as the seller after the sale is made. Expect it. Start delivery of your offering right away, or as quickly as possible. Once the decision to buy is made and agreed, your buyer wants your offering as speedily as you can deliver. Just a few closing thoughts. Persuasion is about agreement, not force. Force creates resistance, the opposite of what a seller wants. Every buyer is looking to solve a problem. Whether the problem is causing present difficulties or is a want that is desired, the result for the professional seller, the doctor, the team, is the same. Help the buyer fix it. The only way to create agreement is to decipher the values and thoughts of the buyer and then shape these artfully into new information persuasion that matches the heart and mind of the prospect. A sale gone right leaves the buyer with a sweet emotional aftertaste that every professional wants to leave behind. What emotional aftertaste are you leaving behind? I'm Dr. Charles Martin at MasterYourPractice.com.